Welcome to the Unwashed Asses, episode 133, recorded Friday, November 1st, 2019. The spooky season has come and passed, and now we're just left with upwards of 7 inches of snow on the ground, depending on where you lived and how badly the storm hit you. It's starting to melt here, but it's made driving tricky because people aren't used to this much snow this quickly, and just kind of dumped all over everybody. But I will say I've always liked the snow in regards to just how serene and quiet and nice it is to sit at home, nice and warm and sipping a tasty beverage and watching the quiet and placid landscape as you play video games. And video games is what we're talking about today because I am disgusted with myself. I had what was called, we'll just call it a bonus check, where I had some extra funds available to me. So I decided to treat myself. And how do I treat myself? I treat myself with video games. So I went on a bit of a spending spree. And you ever have that where you go to like your favorite restaurant or buffet or even you pick up a gallon of your favorite ice cream and you just sit down and gorge yourself and eat and devour and consume and ingest until you are just nothing but a fat, bloated, disgusting pile of sheer discomfort. That's kind of where I am right now with the recent purchases I made. And not that the purchases were bad for the actual games, but more what I spent my money on that disgusts me because it goes against, I guess, core beliefs, or I don't feel that I got my values worth. And notably, that's going to fall on Destiny's side. I'm real angry with Destiny right now and trying to break away from it. And so like the little jabs like this I'm taking. Now, we did have a fantastic sale on Humble Bundle and Steam for the strong female protagonist. So went ahead and picked up Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice on PC. It's a screaming deal at only $15. Loved it on PS4. I'm sure I'm going to love it even more on PC with the higher frame rate and better graphical quality. Although I don't know how you could make that game prettier. Then picked up Resident Evil 2 half off, and that's one I've been wanting for a while, and that's the best deal I've ever caught it at. So, another solid single player game in there. And then Hollow Knight was only $7, and again, I'm a fan of the Metroidvania style games. I've heard nothing but good things about it. It's like, okay, we'll buy this group of games for less than $60, the less than the full price of a brand new AAA game, and I'll get to, stow those away for a rainy day when I want to delve into a single player campaign, which I'm starting to have that itch for again. But I had told myself I'm done with Destiny. I'm going to stop playing it. I had that Twitter tirade about how it just feels like I'm a hamster on a wheel and I'm not really getting anything out of the experience any longer. But Bungie goes and rolls out the Festival of the Lost, and there's two things I love. It's Destiny and Halloween, and you kind of slam the two together, and I'm in. Now, I feel that they've rolled out the event far too late in the season. Tuesday, 2 days before Halloween itself came about, and it's supposed to go for 3 weeks. Past, well into November, we're still going to be doing Halloween and Destiny, and it doesn't feel right. It should have been, started 2 weeks ago. Even like Dauntless, it started its Halloween event this week as well, but it's not going as long, and even then it's just kind of decorations and little emotes, whereas the bulk of Destiny's content, if you're not playing Shadowkeep or the main game, is going to be based on Festival of the Lost. And of course, they put up a bunch of stuff for sale on their in-game store, the Eververse, and a lot of it I wanted. And, being comfortable with money now is like, okay, well, I can afford to spend a little bit on this. And what a little bit equated to and what makes me sick to my stomach was $50. I dumped $50 on in-game cosmetics, shit that I'm not going to use in a month. Namely, the most disappointing was you have 3 new ornaments, one for each of the classes, that essentially makes you look like a spooky skeleton. And I wasn't sure about it, but my mind was like, splurge, splurge, splurge. Get the Halloween costume for Destiny. You have to have it, even if it's yellow and you don't really care for it. Maybe you'll be able to dye it. And rather than do research or really look into it at all, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy this. And then I'll buy the 2 emotes. And even though I'm not a big fan of either of them, I have to have them because they're Halloween themed and they're in Destiny. I need them. Oh, look at that. They brought back the Broom Sparrow from Destiny 1 and now it's permanent. And I'll get to buy that. Oh, shit, I bought it and it doesn't have instant summon, so that immediately makes it useless and I'm never going to use it. I should have stuck with the Halloween Sparrow that I got last year. And oh, let me buy this jack-o'-lantern helmet for my character that is going to be functionally useless after the event's over, and I have to wait a year before it's even usable. And God knows if we're going to have Destiny 3 by that time, and it's going to be like my Terrify emote from the first game. Just wasted money after wasted money, and all of it was just way too expensive for what it actually is. And I feel ill about this, you know. Up until this point, after Bungie split from Activision, I've wanted to spend money on Eververse. I've wanted to give, you know, Bungie my support financially to show them, oh, you know, you're doing a good job. I support your efforts. But a lot of this stuff in Eververse, I just don't care for the aesthetic. I don't like the way it looks. I don't care about the emotes. The weapon skins are terrible. And then they finally give me something. I'm like, oh, I'm going to throw all this money at it, even though I only halfway like it. And I feel terrible. I wish I could refund it. I don't like it. Because again, I don't like the Titan skin. I'm going to go ahead and just switch back to my normal armor. I'll keep the jack-o'-lantern. I love the jack-o'-lantern HUD, but the emotes, not really going to use them. I got the one where your guy slams down a tombstone and some daisies pop up. And there's another one where he goes to scare people, and it's just a very shitty, like, blown-up version of yourself that pops out. It doesn't look good. And then just playing through the event itself hasn't been enjoyable. It's what we had last year. Yeah, granted, the tower's been completely redecorated. I love the new decorations, but we're still doing the haunted forest, and there's nothing really new there. You just run your strikes. Now you have these strange chocolate coins that you need to get to purchase your goodies, and it's mostly just a matter of checking off the triumphs list and getting all that done that I can. But 2 days into it, I'm hit with that feeling of the grind again, and it's just Destiny's not delivering me that solid content that I'm looking for, where yes, there's stuff to do, but I don't feel engaged. I don't get a sense of enjoyment out of it. I'm watching Bob's Burgers on my second screen, and I'm more interested in what's going on there instead of Destiny. The supplement to my game has now become more enjoyable than the game itself, and I have to kind of put it down and step away. And I know I have these single player games to kind of go to, but I'm not really in the mood. What I'm in the mood for is a deep, engrossing world that I can kind of jump into. And shockingly enough, like, Skyrim's been calling my name, where I watched the Touch the Skyrim series from Polygon from years back, and I don't want to play Skyrim to enjoy their story or get engrossed in a world because I hate Bethesda games. I just want to mod it to break the ever-living hell out of it and just see how far I can push this game before it's non-runnable. But that's, again, it's a waste of $40 and a waste of my time. I might enjoy it here and there, but ultimately I might not care about it 3 hours into the experience, and that's $40 that I could, spend on doing something with my son. And I'm just kind of disgusted with the thought and trying to rein it in. And I go to play Dauntless today because they have their Halloween event, and I enjoyed Dauntless. I got myself burned out on it, but I'm like, we'll see what they've got going on. And it turns out that their season pass for Halloween, it gives you an outfit that makes you look like the hunter from Bloodborne. And I'm like, oh, I must have this. I need this in my life. I will throw money at the screen. And how much money do I need to throw? Oh, $25? Sure, sure, sure. Here's the money. Take it all. Here's the $25 for this costume that, I mean, arguably looks a lot better than what Destiny had to offer, and I will probably keep it on my character until the end of time. And oh, look at that. There I have a little jack-o'-lantern head with a scarf. I love scarves and a hat. And I'll put that on that character. Oh, I love the way the hat bounces and flaps around. I look like an angry little jack-o'-lantern goblin as I go hunt down these gigantic monsters with my... Oh, they gave me a hammer that resembles a candelabra, and it's got purple flames, and it's exactly what I needed in my life. Like, Dauntless is knocking it out of the park, and while I feel I got decent value for my money, $25 was a lot to throw at it, but it's half of what I threw at Destiny, and I enjoy the content far more. And now I'm looking up like builds to play in Dauntless, and I'm planning like a family night where we'll all sit down and we'll play on the different consoles together, and I think I found what my gateway away from Destiny will be, is Dauntless for a while. And then once I've burned out my time on that, because that will inevitably happen. That's how I operate in games. I will throw myself whole hog into it. I will be balls deep and enjoying myself thoroughly, almost to the point of making myself sick. And then I will have to step away and no longer play and hate the game that I once loved and let it sit for 6 months, and then I can come back. But the problem is, like Destiny, I still have achievements to complete, triumphs that I won't be able to complete again because it's unique for each year, and it's this fear of missing out that Luke Smith has put forth and aggravates me to no end, where I don't want to play the game, but I feel I must play the game because there is a fear of missing out on content, and it's a terrible tactic to employ on players, especially those that are so deeply interested. I know most of the Destiny player base has completed the bulk of the content. They've leveled up their characters to 950. The grind to 960 is a slog. Yeah, we've done most of the Shadowkeep content. There's a drip feed going here and there, but it's nothing more than to log in for a day or two and enjoy yourself, complete the activities, and then log back out, go back to other games. And maybe then just looking at things differently. I need to treat Destiny in a way that I treated World of Warcraft, where I'll wait until there's a major release, go in and delve into the story content, level up my character as high as I can to the max, if not the max itself, and then dip out for a little while. It's not like I have to pay a monthly subscription, and it doesn't matter if my friends don't play the game any longer. I can still enjoy things in a solo fashion. And the same thing applies to something like Dauntless. And when I'm done with the multiplayer experience, I can go back and play single-player games like Resident Evil 2 and Hollow Knight and Hellblade. And, I don't need friends. I can do this solo experience. Yet there's this pervasive sense of loneliness in the games that I play. And I've become the thing that I hate the most, the guy who plays by himself and is a whale to these companies, giving them more money than they deserve. But I want these things, and I have the money, and I read the Reddit threads about people complaining about how things that were available in Eververse for in-game currency, the bright dust, that was something earnable you didn't have to spend money on, is no longer a thing. And Bungie should be ashamed and tisk, but I think to myself, well, you should have jobs, and you should support the developers you're after, because it's no longer just about buying the $60 game, because the game itself isn't going to be retired in a year like Call of Duty, which itself is riddled with microtransactions. It is a matter of supporting their ongoing efforts, because they can't subsist on those initial sales to keep the studio going, to keep cranking out content. No, you must give them money. And so Destiny is a game where I've gotten at least, let's pull up Steam. Since the game launched on Steam, moved away from Battle.net, I've already put 109 hours into the game. Last played was today. I didn't play it today. I played it at 12:05 last night, but that still counts. I look at my other friends where they've done like 62 hours played recently, 21 hours played recently, 7 and 3. Like, I'm clearly blowing them all out of the water. I have more time than all of them put together. And it disgusts me. I am A dirty, filthy wretch who's put far too much time into a game that I don't feel is rewarding. I'm putting myself on a treadmill for no real reason. I'm ranting now, and... So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I'm going to try and step away from Destiny once the Festival of Lost is over. And, again, it's not something I enjoy. I'm not going to get that title, The Undying. Sure, I got a spooky little banner with a jack-o'-lantern on it. I love little jack-o'-lanterns. I love Halloween and keeping it going throughout the year, unlike the asshole neighbor who already has a Christmas tree up in their home. Despicable. You know they didn't set it up this morning because I was leaving at 6 a.m. when I saw it. They had it set up. A Christmas tree up in the home with lights strung and ornaments hung with care while Hallows Eve carries out. Disgusting. But that's going to end my little rant. I didn't intend it to be as such, but here we are at 15 minutes and 45 seconds, approaching 16 minutes, so we must be done for the time. If you have your own thoughts, concerns, criticisms, critiques, complaints, or otherwise just want to shoot the shit, you see the email address. Write me a letter. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I didn't spend too much money on trivial things in video games. I could have spent it on things like drugs and alcohol and gone on a more surreal experience and really learned about myself rather than playing dress up with digital characters. Or tell your friends about all this silly nonsense I've been getting up to and how I've been pissing away my money and that they need to come and laugh at this pathetic, fat, middle-aged man. They can get the show wherever they get their other shows. iTunes, Google Play. What are the other ones? Pocket Casts. I'm everywhere. There's not a platform that you can't find me on, and if you can, please tell me and I will rectify it. But this will do it for now. We will talk to you next week. But until then, blood for the blood god.